morning and welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman, and I'm so excited you're with us. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I absolutely love about health is that we were made to function at a high level of health and vitality. Your body was made to be the best you ever. And the one thing that I've noticed throughout my time in practice with my husband, who's a wellness chiropractor, his name is Dr. Evan R. Christman, and we own Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center in Bel Air, Maryland, is that many people believe that they're not only not functioning at a high level of health, but they're supposed to be sick. You know, I hear so many people come in telling me that their children have normal asthma, that they have normal headaches, that they constantly are not feeling well. This time of year, they tell me they're catching the flu, they got the virus. And I almost imagine that they have a catcher's mitt on, and then here comes the flu and they've got it. Here comes the virus and they've got that. But the reality is that's not how your body is supposed to function and work at all. We're not supposed to have normal headaches. We're not supposed to have asthma or ear infections. The reality is our body is so smart and intelligent. The first thing that was created when we were born is called the neural streak. Literally, that is where you live your life. It controls every single organ, tissue, and cell in the body and sends signals to the brain, to the body, and back again for complete healing and coordination. And the power of that chiropractic adjustment literally restores that connection to every single organ, tissue, and cell in the brain and into the body, and healing abounds. However, I want you to think about this. What's your lifestyle? If one of the most important things you can do for your health is to be adjusted. See, your vital needs are so important, and the main vital need is your central nervous system. Again, that's where you're living your life through. That's where health is coming. Yet most people are absolutely ignoring the fact that they should be showing up in a chiropractor's office to restore that connection to the brain and to every organ, tissue, and cell so that they get to be well. The next vital need is air. It's so important for you to be able to breathe. You know, my dad's a volunteer fireman with Job in Magnolia. I actually found out that this year he has been volunteering for 60 years. That's 60 years. I can't even believe it. What an amazing man. But when my dad shows up for a car accident, he doesn't show up and say, "What did you eat today? Did you exercise today?" No, he says, "Do you have proper air supply?" And what's most important again is, do you have nerve supply? Because at the end of the day, without that, life is over with. The next important vital need is water. You know, what are you drinking? What are you ingesting? Is it pure filtered waters, or are you relying upon sodas, coffees, and teas, diet, or artificial sweeteners? The very last important need, which many people get upside down, they talk about the food they're eating. That's the last important vital need. You can go, and it's an estimate, about 40 days without food before you die. For me, it might be 10. For someone else, it might be 60. But the reality is, the one thing that most people focus on for health, which is food, is at the end of the vital needs pyramid. So I ask you to start to think about this, to invest in your health. Learn what really is creating health, and learn what's really creating sickness. And today, as I said, we're talking to one of the most amazing health women in the world. Her name is Doherty with Reshape with Ape. And I've got to tell you, I've only met her for a short period of time, but she has some flat out amazing information to share with you so that you can be the best health ever naturally. And that's what's so important. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I can't wait for you to hear April's amazing information.
Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center located at 2310 Churchville Road, Suite C in Bel Air, is enhancing lives through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. As a licensed chiropractor in Maryland and Pennsylvania, Dr. Evan Christman can correct damage from years of lifestyle stresses while educating you to maintain good health for your lifetime. A dedicated professional with a very special focus on children with learning differences and autism, Dr. Christman treats people of all ages, newborn babies, children, pregnant women, families, seniors, and professional golfers. Isn't it time for you to reclaim your life? Take your first step toward health and vitality today. Call Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center, at 410-734-4060 and let their experienced staff show you how to restore the flow of life. 410-734-4060 or check them out at restorelifeflow.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. And I'm so excited you're with us today. We're here to empower you, your friends, your family, and your loved ones to be healthy and well naturally. And the one thing that I love about health is that you were made to be well. You were made to function at a high level of health and vitality so that you can be the best you ever. And today we're talking to April Doherty with Reshape with APE. Welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman, April.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. So I've got to tell you, April's absolutely amazing. She's one of those people that when you meet her, literally the room shines. She not only is such an amazing person, but she is fit. She is in shape. And I want you to begin to learn not only what those principles of health are, but why it's so important to take care of yourself. And I'm learning that as a mom, I'm learning that as a wife, and I'm learning that as a health provider. So April, talk to me, why do you take care of yourself?
Because I have to take care of me in order to be able to love and take care of other people.
Isn't that the truth? And you know, so many people go through life missing that important statement that, you know, if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of other people? So April, tell me, how did you end up down this path? Who is April? Why do you wake up every single morning and step out there and empower other people, and especially women, to do what you do so amazingly, which is take great care of yourself?
Wow, that's a tough question. I guess a little over. I mean, I've been teaching group fitness for a pretty long time. I started off with doing Taekwondo. After Taekwondo is kind of when I started getting excited about actually teaching group fitness. From there, it was just kind of, you know, going down the path of one thing after another, continually striving to better myself. And eventually when I started learning more, it was more just reaching out to other people and teaching them the same thing that I know.
You know, the one thing that I've learned over time of being in practice for the last 15 years with my husband is that it's a belief system. It's how your family, how your parents, how your teachers, how your priests, and how the people around you have brought you up. And we're oftentimes taught belief systems that shape you in being who you are. And one of my belief systems when I grew up was that it's so important to have family as a big portion of your life. You know, for many of you that know, my husband is extremely important to me. My daughter is. And if you're really close to me, you know, you'll get a phone call once a week telling you, you know, that I think you're great or I want to know what's happening in your life. So tell me, you know, what were your belief systems growing up? You know, did you have those people in your life that supported you to be the person that you are today?
Growing up, for me, it was mostly reaching out and getting love from a lot of different teachers. I was the big nerd. I still am a big nerd. You know, one of my favorite teachers, Miss Homan, she's a huge inspiration, and I still reach out to her. I'm actually going to be going to visit her in Florida, and she's my teacher from high school. So lots of teachers, you know, learning from each individual person, reaching out and, you know, having lots of friends and being surrounded by friends and learning that, you know, each individual person is different. So, you know, we have to learn how to embrace the smile and share the smile.
That is the truth. And the one thing that I've also learned, it's that when the student's ready, the teacher appears. And it seems to me that you're here to empower the world. Talk to me about, you know, if you were to take me and I were to start to follow to do what you do on a daily basis, you know, if you were to be my exercise health coach, what would you start with for me? Because I'm a really busy mom, you know, and I've got a lot of wonderful things that I do in my life, but how would you help me to set up those habits that are so important to begin that exercise program?
So the first thing that I would do is kind of talk to you about your life, how busy you are. As a society, we're all very, very busy. Many of us don't have time or think that we don't have enough time to cook real foods. We rely on microwaves. We rely on heavily processed foods because those are what's quick and easy. So the first thing that I would say to you would be I would go over what you eat. I would go over your time schedule, I would go over if you have any injuries or anything like that, something that would give me an idea of where I'm limited and what I can give to you. I would kind of start to send you down the path of, heading to farmers markets, which right now is a little more difficult. Some of the farmers still have some stuff, but one of the biggest things that you can still get right now is going to be real meats, eggs. Rousdale Farm is my biggest source of all of that stuff. From there, we would start looking at exercise. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to go to the gym. I can't do it at home because I'm not motivated. All sorts of different thoughts and perceived excuses. So the biggest thing is kind of just sitting down, going through some movements, and then nothing too difficult, but then moving on from that point. I rely heavily on kettlebells. Kettlebells have literally changed my life.
I've got to tell you, kettlebells are absolutely amazing. My husband bought me a hot pink one, and I can't say that I've used it a lot, but I've got to tell you, my husband swears by them. And one of the things that he showed me, this lady that was in her 50s, she had her thoracic spine was very bent forward. For many people, that thoracic spine and that nerve system, it controls the function of your heart. It controls your lungs. It controls your ability to, really the main organs are functioning through that area of your body. The other thing is that her head was an anterior head carriage, which means that her cervical spine, which we want to see, it should be a really nice C-curve shape. Again, those organs that come out of that nerve system are your ears, eyes, scalp, pituitary glands, and literally the signaling to your brain. So, your children could have symptoms such as asthma or ear infections, failure to thrive. They could be lethargic. And I want you to begin to think about this. See, if that nerve system can't get the signal, and if you're not being adjusted by a chiropractor, that's the only profession that restores that connection to the organs and to the brain. And then in turn, you add exercise to that and you do that kettlebell. Literally, the kettlebell is so important. It begins to strengthen that body and that spine. But this woman who was in her 50s had terrible posture. And what I want you all to see is that posture is the window to your health. And how your posture functions is literally how your health is. And what happened with this lady is through doing the kettlebells in the morning, that's all she did, the structure of her spine began to strengthen up. And through being adjusted, her body began to heal. And she looks like $1,000,000. So kettlebells are amazing.
They really are. Talk
to me about, you talked about not using microwaves. We haven't had a microwave in our home. I can't even remember. Maybe it's been 20 years. The other thing that we didn't do prior to having a baby was TV. I didn't have a TV in my home for probably a good 8 to 10 years. And you may say, well, why not? Well, the reality is microwaves, they actually break down the molecular structure of the food. So they take all the good nutrients from that food and they go away. We also talked about going to local farmers. That's all I shop. Local farmers. I use the Umburgers in this area. You can go to Brooms Bloom Dairy off of 543 in Bel Air, and you can get the most amazing meats. You can get Andy's Poultry right off of Harford Road. You can buy fresh eggs, fresh chicken. If you want a fresh turkey this time of year, hormone-free, chemical-free, antibiotic-free, that's the place to go. They're absolutely amazing. You were talking about the Rouses. They're absolutely amazing as well. So I want you to think about investing in your health. What are you doing to really support your family's health? Where are you buying your food? What are you putting into your body? And I've got to say, when you talk about exercising, you started and founded Reshape with Ape. What does that mean? What is that?
So Reshape with Ape is more about just kind of digging deep. I get to see all of these women who are absolutely awesome, and many of them cannot see the true potential within themselves. So my goal is to teach each of them to live their fullest, to learn how to smile about life, smile about love, be happy, and just thrive in life. Have an energy that you may not have known you could ever have. When I come home, my husband from the gym, my husband's like, oh my gosh, it's like you've had 10 cups of coffee. But it's just because I taught a cycling class or because I worked out. I just feel that good afterwards, you know?
And you know, it's so important to start to think about the inside of health. Many people are reaching for the outside, meaning they're reaching for a pill, a powder, a lotion, a drug, shot, or surgery, and they're saying this must be bringing me health. And many people say this about coffee. They say, you know, I've got to have my coffee in the morning. That's an outside source. But what I'm hearing from you is that you invest in yourself, that you learn. You know, this morning you showed me these amazing books that are so important for you to read to build up your self-esteem and your belief in yourself. And one of the books that I read a long time ago, I remember, gosh, I think about 21 years old, and I read and listened to Wayne Dyer. And Wayne Dyer, if you've never heard of him before, he's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend you going and reading his books or listening to his audio tapes. But literally, Wayne Dyer, it was called Manifest Your Destiny. And I listened to his tape. I heard you have to listen to tapes 14 times before they really sink into your brain, right? Well, I listened to his tape for 6 months straight.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I listened to. I listened to it so much. It was back in the day where it was like the old like cassette. I ruined the material of it inside, you know, and I'm so disappointed that day I couldn't listen to it anymore. But what he taught me was that you can be anything you want in this life. But you've got to be the person first. And that's a hard thing as an adult. You know, my birthday was yesterday. I have amazing friends and family that were around me. And I've got to tell you that one of the hard things is when you are in that age of 40, you have habits, right, that are ingrained in you, that you learn good things and you learn bad things. And one of the things that I am hoping to do in the next 10 years of my life is to reinstate those great, wonderful habits that I've learned over time. The other thing that I'm seeing is so vitally important is that belief system, is that showing up, believing in who you are, and actually taking those steps to be even more amazing. And so I've got to tell you, I'm gonna hire April. She's gonna be my exercise coach. And so I'm excited about this. You haven't told me if you would yet, but you know, what do they say? Resistance is futile, huh? But I'm looking forward to this because I see you as somebody that can help me stay accountable for exercising. You know, being a mom, being a wife, owning a practice, having a great radio show. You know, I have so many things that go on in my life. And I am one of those people that I love my life. I love my family. I love my husband. And I could use even more energy. I have all the education. I have all the great stuff behind me. So now talk to me. What's our future going to look like? What's going to happen? When are we going to meet? Is it going to be in the morning? Is it going to be at night?
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
How are you going to help me? But let's think about this. I've got to help myself. I have to help myself first. But how is this going to work out so that a year from now I'm going to show up here and I'm going to be, you know, I mean, I don't have to be a size 4 anymore, but I could be a size 8, you know?
Well, the biggest thing, it's not about even size. It's not about, you know, any of those characteristics. It's about how you feel inside, the strength that you feel from what you've been doing. So, so again, like I said, I would work on the food. I would work on the, obviously within the specifications of my, you know, certifications, and then the kettlebells. Obviously, you're seeing time. Time is a big thing for me too. I train before work. I work full time as a paralegal, and then I also do training after work. So my time schedule, as is yours, is limited. I don't have kids, but I have a 4-legged kid. I have a husband. So, so what I teach my clients is that I'm giving you the tools so that you know that I'm always there for you, but I'm writing you a program. I'm making sure you understand your program. And then from there, we're going to meet a couple of times a week, once, twice, something like that. But then it's going to be on you because I
have to be responsible, and I am. I'm a responsible person. So it has to be on me to take those steps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've got to tell you, I'm so committed to this because I think it's so important. I am going to write a $2,500 check to a local charity, and I'm going to have one of my friends, her name's Terry, she's one of my best friends, I'm going to have her hold on to that, and I'm going to have her track me. And she's going to be that person in my life that's close to me that's going to hold me accountable. So by a certain time, I'm going to set up goals. I'm going to set up a plan with you that I can follow.
Sure.
And I'm going to show up and I'm going to do it. And in turn, we're going to have a, I call it one of those drop dead dates, meaning that, this is a date that within reason I've got to have those goals accomplished by. If for some reason I don't hit those goals, then that $2,500 check is going to go to that charity. And I ask you guys to think about this. What are you doing today that's stopping you from being truly well? What are the changes and habits that you can make in your life that can make you better? Because the one thing that I've learned over time, and the one thing that's really ringing true with April, is that when you believe in yourself and when you show up fully, when you begin to say, enough is enough, it's time for me to be absolutely even more amazing than I've already been, then that's when you begin to see big change. That's when you begin to see that people's life and health make huge turnarounds. There's a wonderful gentleman that we've been seeing for a long time, and I've watched him. He's a great, great guy. I think, maybe he's been in our practice for maybe the last 2 years. And there's a framed picture that we have. It says, are you devolving or are you evolving? And there's a picture of a gentleman. And basically what it starts off as is an ape, right? Starts off as an ape because that's our original form. And over time it goes into this really fit guy with the six-pack abs. And then you begin to see that halfway through his life he begins to start to rock, his spine moves forward as you see older people do. You also begin to see that at the end this person's in a walker. And he said that every time he would go to the bathroom, because that's where it's hanging, that he would say to himself, gosh, I'm really devolving. I can't believe I'm doing this. He is so consistent with his adjustments. He's functioning at a high level of health. Well, now he has that energy to go and exercise. He wakes up first thing in the morning, he exercises, he's changed his food, and I've got to tell you, this man is starting to look like $1 million. He said, I have never felt better in my life, and I actually, within the last 10 years, feel better than I did before. I want you to think about this. Would you ever believe that from a chiropractor's office? Would you ever believe that your health could dramatically change going to a chiropractor's office? And I'm here to tell you that it can. I'm here to tell you that when you invest in your central nervous system and your body has the ability to heal and to function at a high level of health and vitality, that at the end of the day, you have no other choice but to be well. I'm here to tell you that when you invest in your food, which we've done for years, buying chemical-free vegetables, fruits, and meats, your body has no other choice but to grow. And the big portion, which I think a lot of us fall down upon, is the emotional stress, that we allow outside sources to break down that power and that belief of who we are. And I think too that when you begin to have wonderful people in your life to support you to be the best you ever, that not only are you lifting yourself up, but you're lifting others up. My intention is to lift not only myself up, my beautiful daughter, teach her great habits so she can be the best ever, to lift my wonderful husband up. He's such a blessing in my life. To lift our practice members up, to lift our staff members. I've got the best. Jill is wonderful. She's our chiropractic assistant. Brooke is our receptionist. Huge blessings in our life. Jake is our marketing assistant. He's so wonderful. And Gabby, I've got to tell you, she's such an amazing young lady who recently told us she wants to be a chiropractor. What a blessing. So April, tell us, what are those final thoughts? Why is it so important for people to invest in their health, to reshape with APE? Why is it important for them to say, you know what, it's time for me to make a change?
So reshape with APE is essentially an ape, which is starting at the middle and then evolving, kind of like what you said about devolving versus evolving. Mm-hmm. So it starts with me. I'm giving you a tool and you're evolving your life and creating something that's something that you can give to yourself, something that you can give to your others. The biggest thing is that you have to take care of yourself. You can't take care of anyone else unless you take care of you. And that's not selfishness. That's not selfishness by any means. It is just taking care of you, making sure that your body works to the optimal functioning, that the way that it's supposed to be, the way that you're made to be.
Isn't that fabulous? And I've got to tell you, you were made to be well. You were made to be the best you ever. Your children were made to be well. And when you begin to see that, when you begin to stop buying that hype of what's wrong with my child, what's wrong with my family, what's wrong, that's a terrible way to look at life. And many people get wrapped up in fear. They say, oh my God, I'm afraid to do this. And there was a lady that I met a long time ago on a ropes course. Her name is Deb Martin. Her name now, she's amazing. But I've got to tell you, what she said to me was, can you still be afraid and take one more step? And oftentimes when I find myself in that moment where I say, Michelle, I'm not sure, I say to myself, can I still be afraid and take one more step? And the answer is yes. Am I afraid of, doing things in my life that can make it even better? Many people have such a belief in that medical model system, meaning they really believe that it's that pill that's going to empower them to be better. Well, I've got to tell you, we've got a huge epidemic in this world. And one of the things that I am continuing to see is many people know, right, this saying, it's called say no to drugs, right? And you tell that to your kids all the time. But are you really teaching them that? Are you teaching them that it's okay to take an aspirin? Are you teaching them that it's okay to reach inside, right, the proverbial medicine cabinet within your home? Are you teaching them that it's okay to live outside of the normal ways of how your body's supposed to function or work? Or are you teaching them that the body's strong and intelligent and that they're absolutely amazing? Are you teaching them that it's so important for their bodies to heal? And I've got to tell you, many of you may not know this, but chiropractic is a lifestyle. Chiropractic is the largest drugless healing profession in the world. And at the end of the day, when you show up consistently, that simply get checked. Go to your local wellness chiropractor. Let them check your nervous system and see how it's functioning. Do you want to live your life as a dim light bulb throughout the rest of your life? Or do you want to live your life as a bright light bulb, as somebody that shines so that other people can see you through that mist of darkness in today's world? And that's what chiropractic is. And that's what I also see April as. April teaches you how to exercise, teaches you how to make sure you make good choices and decisions with food. And April, I want to thank you so much for your time. You're so wonderful. How can people reach you?
So I write for the Dagger Press. Mm-hmm. You can find me on the health and fitness column there. You can find me at www.reshapewithape.com. You can also find me, what are my other ways? My email, which is Doherty5@gmail.com. And I mean, I'm always around. I teach at Bel Air Athletic Club. There's all kinds of ways. I'm always around.
That is awesome. I love that. I love it, April. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm grateful and thankful for you. And I'm going to step it up this year. You're going to see absolutely amazing things out of Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. You're also going to see us interviewing the most amazing celebrities within the world on how you can be well naturally, and the most amazing and renowned wellness doctors, so that you can be well, and you can be well throughout the whole entire year. And you're listening live every single Saturday from 8:30 till 9 in the morning to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. And you can hear me on WAMD 970 AM, WYRE 810, WKHZ 1460, WJSS 1330. And you can watch me live on KHZTV.com. That's KHZTV.com. Take great care of your health. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holidays.